How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So I just went and saw Venom 2 last night, and this is going to be kind of like my review on the movie. So there are spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, please don't watch. Once again, spoilers. I'm going to talk about everything. All the end credit scenes, everything that you might want to, not want to hear about and want to watch. So please don't watch this. All right. So get into it. I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie, but I didn't love the first one either. One of my biggest complaints I thought about the first one was they made Venom kind of like dumb, and I didn't like that. And this one, like he kind of talks dumb sometimes, but they actually made him really, really smart. So that was kind of cool. I liked that aspect of it. It was a lot funnier than the first one, and there's a lot more Venom, so I feel like they had a bigger budget. But at the same time, some of the CGI looked really bad. Not on Venom. Venom looked fine. Carnage looked fine. It was really bad when Cletus transitioned into Carnage. There's some it's like really bad. And then there's another part. There's this part where they do like a young Cletus, so Woody Harrelson, but Cletus is like in his 30s. And I'm like, why didn't they just use the de-ager that they use on all the other Marvel characters? I know this is Sony/Marvel, but why didn't they use the de-ager? They literally got a brand new actor and just put Woody Harrelson's voice over it. I'm like, why didn't you just use a de-ager? Like, it makes no sense. Like, I've seen people that use that where they basically swap faces, like, I forget what it's called now, top of my head, but like where they've done like a pretty good job. Like, why didn't they just do that? Like, the technology's there where they can do a pretty good job for pretty cheap. It was just stupid. Like, he's got a whole new actor that didn't even really look like him. I don't know. That's weird. And then there's another part where they're on this beach at the very end, and it literally looks like they're in like, you ever seen like going to a grocery store or a mall and they have like a beach set up, like maybe they're advertising something, and so they have the sand on the ground and like a painted background or a big picture of a beach, so it looks like you're on a beach. Like, that's what it looked like. And the whole time, I'm like, oh, they're in a grocery store or something, and they're going to pan out, and it's going to be, oh, it's a grocery store. But no, they pan away, and they're actually on a beach. It literally looks like Tom Hardy put some sand in his house, put a green screen around him, and then sat there and, acted, and then they CGI'd everything else. Oh, it looked bad. I don't know why. They ran out of budget or something, or they wanted to add it at the very last moment, and so they added it in. But yeah, so apart from that, there's a couple complaints. Like in the very beginning, like the first 5 minutes just rubbed me the wrong way. Just like, oh, this is stupid. Please don't continue. They wanted to put some backstory for Cletus, and so they have Shriek and Cletus in this like jail type of thing. He's a serial killer, and she's, she has powers, and her powers are getting too much for this, like, kind of like a home/jail. I don't know exactly what it was. Getting too much, so the police come and take Shriek away to a different facility. But even though they have powers, or she does, all they do is put one cop in the back of the car with her, and she looks at the cop and goes, as soon as she gets in, any last words, and then tries to blow his head off with her sound, but that obviously doesn't work. The cop kind of shoots her. It's a kind of whole thing, but it's just like, I'm like, this person has superpowers, a super villain, and you're just gonna put one lonely cop when you know exactly what her powers are, and that's it. Like, no protection, no nothing. Like, it just seems really dumb. Anyway, so that's how it kind of starts off. The Venom and Tom Hardy aspect was pretty cool. Like I said, a lot funnier than the first one. So I like that. One of the things I didn't really like, that the whole time they are kind of alluding to, it's like they're fighting, right? Venom and Tom Hardy are fighting, and they need to, come together as one, learn to live with each other. That's kind of like the main focus of the movie, is like, we got to learn to live together. At one point they separate, and Venom's just jumping into other hosts nonstop, and Tom Hardy realizes that he needs Venom because he needs to stop like Carnage and all this kind of stuff. And then Venom realizes that he needs, Eddie Brock because, I don't know, because he's hungry. It doesn't really explain. Like, he basically just says, like, hey, I'm not going to be with you. And so Venom just jumps from host to host and parties and has all this good time. And then he gets hungry, and then he like almost dies because he's so hungry. So yeah, I don't know. It's like this weird thing. But anyways, so they have to come together. And then at the very end, when Venom's about to give up because he can't beat Carnage, Eddie's like, look, Carnage and Cletus are fighting. They're not together at all. They're not synced up. We need to be synced up, And then they're like, okay, let's sync up. And then nothing really happens. They say they're synced up, and it goes back to the exact same thing. And they're able to win because they're both rooting for each other to win, even though they're rooting for each other to win from the very beginning. It's not like they were mentally fighting, like, hey, no, let's do this. No, I want to go over here during the battle. It wasn't like that at all. So it was just a weird, I don't know, weird thing. Anyways, so it ends kind of cool, like how they killed Carnage, but I feel like Carnage is going to be wasted due to the fact that they put in Riot in the first one. And I know if you're a comic book fan, you know the difference, but 99% of the people that go in there do not know the difference. Carnage and Riot look almost identical. There's a slightly different color, right? A little bit different color. But they kind of are the same size and almost the same powers to the average viewer. So it's going to look like, it's just dumb. It's like, I get it. In most Marvel movies, the first one's always, they fight their yin and yang, right? So you got Iron Man, Ironmonger, basically the same, one's bigger, but they're both people in iron suits. Then you got the Hulk, right? The Hulk fought the Abomination. Both basically have the same everything, right? The exact same. And then you got like Ant-Man fighting Yellow Jacket. Both people can turn small, slightly different, all that kind of stuff. I get it. That's why they did it with Riot. That's what they do. They just happen to do the yin and the yang thing. Two people with same powers, but just slightly different ideologies on how to use them. But then in like this one, it's the same thing. It's literally the same villain as before. And I think the average person won't know the difference. They won't know the difference. They don't know, like, okay, there's a guy that literally looks like Venom who looks like Riot, and it's the same thing. I want to destroy everyone. They should have put Carnage in the first one. That's what they should have done. They should have done that from the get-go. That was a stupid move not to put it, and to put it in Riot. But, like, what's the point? Riot isn't even that popular compared to Carnage, right? So why would you put in, like, a second-tier symbiote compared to just putting Carnage? That would have made the most sense. You could have wrote it in there somehow and made it work. So I think most audiences would be like, what is this? Is this the same movie as before? Because in the first one, they fought and they didn't want to get along. And it's literally the same as the first movie. This could literally be a remake, and no one would know the difference. All the same stuff. Eddie Brock's still in love with that one girl, I think her name's Anne, and still trying to get her, but she's with that other guy. And Venom and Eddie Brock are fighting mentally and don't want to be with each other. And then they fight another symbiote that looks just like them, called Carnage instead of Riot. All the same. Like, not much difference. And I think it was a fail on whoever wrote this movie to begin with. They should have put Carnage in the first one, and the second one could have done something completely different. So I hope this doesn't hurt the franchise, because I kind of like it. Moving forward, there's a big reveal at the end of the end credits scene. You have to stay and watch it. Big reveal. It's basically... So Venom and Eddie Brock are in like this hotel, and Venom's like, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know that us symbiotes can do. He's like, okay, show me. He's like, okay, I'll show you a bit. And he goes to show him something, but at the same time, it's the same time that Doctor Strange merges the multiverse from the Spider-Man No Way Home, the new movie coming out. And so then they're like, what'd you just do? And he's like, I didn't do anything. And so then they look at the TV, and J. Jonah Jameson is on the TV saying, like, Spider-Man needs to be stopped. And it shows a picture of Tom Holland Spider-Man. And then you realize that, like, oh, they just put Venom into the Spider-Man universe. And Venom looks at it, and he goes, that guy. And he, like, looks at the TV screen. But the whole reason why Venom hated Spider-Man is because Venom once was with Spider-Man. That's how he got all those powers. And then Peter Parker rejected him. He goes, get out of here. I don't want you anymore. That's why he hates him. For the most part, Venom's like an okay, decent, whatever person. Like not like a Carnage villain, but he hates Spider-Man for that reason. How are you going to manufacture this hatred towards Spider-Man? I don't know. Like, you can't, because this is a completely different Venom. They have no ties to Spider-Man. So I'm thinking, big speculation here, I'm thinking Tom Holland goes into the other universe where there's the Tobey Maguire universe. So you got Doc Ock, you got Sandman, Green Goblin, Electro, all these other ones, right? Even though I know Electro was in the Garfield one. But there's going to be like the Sinister Six. And then I think what's going to happen is Topher Grace's Venom is going to be part of that Sinister Six. Hear me out. And then the Tom Hardy and the Tom Holland Spider-Man and Venom are going to have to team up with Doctor Strange to destroy this Sinister Six. That's my guess. And you also have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man all together, all on a team to fight the Sinister Six. I think that's what's going to happen. I hope that happens. That'd be great. I don't know. There's going to be like, to me, like this Spider-Man movie I'm super hyped for, and there's just going to be so much in there. It's going to be like literally like Infinity War and Endgame combined, but they had like multiple movies and lots of setup to do this. I don't know how they're going to cram this all into one. They should just do a two-parter. It feels like it's going to be so huge. Like I feel like the part in the new Spider-Man movie where it's going to be like, oh, everyone knows I'm Spider-Man. Dr. Strange, can you get rid of her? I feel like that's going to be in the first 15 minutes of the film. And then it's just like, you're going to need the rest of like the 2 hours to do all this backstory and everything like that. So I think that's what's going to happen. That's my guess anyways. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the movie. Let me know what you think of the upcoming Spider-Man. And have a good day.